It's Tuesday stitch time. Grab your hook and yarn. We're making something cozy, cute and warm. New stitch, new trick, let's learn today. Easy steps, I'll guide the way. Whether you're new or stitching pro, come along, let's hook and go.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Pseudo's Crochet and More. This is your host Crystal. Today is Tuesday, so that means it's Stitch Tutorial Day. And today's stitch tutorial is the puff stitch or open cluster stitch or whatever you may know it by. It is a 1-row repeat, and I did work up a little sample using the Premier Basic DK Multi, which I've been featuring in all my Tuesday tutorials as of late. This one is the color in April Showers, and this is what it would look like if you used this stitch with this yarn. I'm going to use a different yarn for the tutorial so you guys can see, hopefully the stitch is good. Now this is reversible, because you've got puffs that pop out on one side and then you've got them on the other side that pop out as well. So it is a reversible. It's good for a lot of things. If you want to incorporate it with another stitch, you can. The chain multiple is 2. That's it. Just a multiple of 2. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a chain of, well, I'm going to have to do something real quick. I'm going to chain up. This thing will let me do this here. I'm using the eco-friendly yarn again that I got from Ollie's. Or it could have been from, I think it was from Ollie's. I really think it was from Ollie's. It's the Eco Cozy yarn. It was $3. I don't know if that's a Michael's clearance or if that is a Ollie's tag. I think it's a clearance from Michael's. This might be from Michael's directly. This is a bulky 5, so I'm going to use a 7. I think this works okay with a 7. I've used 7 with this before with other stitches, so we'll see how it works up. I'm going to chain a total of 28. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to make sure I have 10 because that slipped out of there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yep, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and I'm going to go 26. So this is what it looks like in 26. Now this one here, because it is a thinner yarn, I chained up, I think, 30 or 32 for this one. But I'm only going to do 26 for this one. So the first row, we're going to do a 3 double crochet cluster into the 6th chain from the hook. So we're going to skip 5 chains. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And into the 6th, we're going to yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. We're going to yarn over again, go back into that same chain to pull up another loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. We're going to do that one more time. Yarn over, insert the hook into that same chain space, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through. That was not good, but you know, things happen. And pull through 2. You should have 4 loops remaining on your hook. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. That completes your first 3 double crochet cluster. You're going to chain 1, skip 1, and then do another 3 double crochet cluster into the next stitch. So that's yarn over, insert your hook into that, you skip a chain, insert your hook into the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook into that same chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We have 3 loops on the hook. We need to do that one more time. Yarn over, insert your hook into that same chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You'll then have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 4 loops if your loops don't fall off your hook like mine wants to do. Because this is a very silky yarn and this is like an acrylic instead of metal, this does tend to slide on here. So my suggestion would be, if you're using a slippery yarn like this, try to make sure that you have a metal hook to use. If you only have a plastic one, that's fine. Just be careful because your loops or stitches, your loops may fall off of your yarn hook like mine did on that first one. And then after that's done, chain 1. Then we're going to skip the next chain and into the next one another 3 double crochet. So that's the repeat all the way down to the last chain, and I'll show you how to end the row. Now I would like to let you know that if you have trouble finding your turning chain, you will need to make sure that you have stitch markers to mark your turning chain for the beginning and the end of, the row. I'm sorry, I always forget to tell you guys everything at the beginning, and I'm so sorry about that. Skip that one into the next one. But this is a very easy repeat row. Yeah, if you chained up more than I did, or less than I did, feel free to skip to the end if you want to. There it goes again. And I'm not holding my yarn that tight with this, because the tighter I hold it with this, the more I notice that it tries to fall off the hook. Just not being very nice. I hope your week is going well so far. My week, I'm doing this on Monday, so yesterday was the first day back to work after the weekend, and I hate Mondays. I know a lot of people probably say that, but it's like, oh, do I really have to go? Can we have another weekend day? Unfortunately, that doesn't always work out. All right. Like you want it to, so. All right, come on into this chain. I can't believe it's almost the middle of August already. I cannot wait for the cooler months to get here. August needs to chill out. The weather here in Texas needs to chill out in August. It really does. I think this is going to be all. There we go. Okay. There we go. I have a video for tomorrow planned, which I'll probably record tomorrow for Wednesday. It was a surprise find at my local Walmart store, because I had been looking for it ever since they announced that Walmart was supposed to be getting this yarn, and I never saw it at my local Walmart. Now, mind you, I have like 5 in my city. 5 Walmarts. That's crazy. And the Walmart closest to me never carried it. Never seen it. And then I seen it yesterday. I took a quick video of it, and my husband okayed me to grab some, so I did. Didn't have much of a selection. The one color that I really wanted to get of it obviously I'm talking about yarn. They only had one skein of it left, and I'm like, I don't want to get just one skein. And they had some solids of the same type of yarn, and I'm like, yeah, no. So, but that will be tomorrow's video, and of course tomorrow will also be the new weekly video for Premier Yarns for their sale. And as of right now, I did look on their website. They still have tickets available if you want to go to the meet and greet there. I wish I was closer, but I'm not, so I'm not going to be able to go. $10 a ticket's not horrible. But trying to get there from Texas is a little bit too much. I would have had to have known about it way before that in advance. All right, so I'm at my last skip one into the next chain. This is the last 3 double crochet cluster or puff stitch or bobble or however you want to classify it. I call it a puff stitch, but it's more like a bobble than a puff. So, but. All right, so I just did my last one. So I skip one, which is this next one. And this one down here just gets one regular double crochet into the last stitch chain. Okay. And then that ends the row. And to do just a regular double, we yarn over, insert our hook into that chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that ends row 1. And this is what it'll look like. Now, if you're using a self-striping yarn like I was using with the April showers, it will look different. This is what it would look like if you use just a solid color. Now, if you want to change colors, that's great. Fasten off at the end right here, and then turn your work. If you're using the same color like I'm going to do, we're going to go ahead and chain 4. This counts as a double crochet and a chain 1 throughout the entire pattern. That's why I said if you aren't used to finding your turning chain, you'll want to use stitch markers, especially with this being a 4 chain up. Because you're only going to go into the top of the turning chain, which is actually your chain 3. So if you're going to be using stitch markers, you'll chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then mark this chain, and then chain 1 more, 4. So you want to make sure that your third chain, because this is counting as the chain in between your puffs, double crochet cluster or bobble. It depends on, everybody classifies it differently. And then turn your work. Now, if you're changing color, which is fine, you'll slip stitch into the first stitch and chain the 4. And then from there, we're going to skip that first double crochet and go over to the first 3 double crochet cluster to put another 3 double crochet cluster on top of that. So we're going to yarn over. Now to find the top of this one, because there is the chain 1, you'll turn your work and you'll see the bigger V here. Let me get that to focus. So there's the little V for the chain 1. This right here, this bigger V, is the top of your previous double crochet cluster. So we're going to insert our hook into that spot, pull up a chain, insert and pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. Yarn over, insert your hook into that same space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. And again, you should have 4 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. Chain 1. And that's the repeat. Then you're going to go down to the next one. Again, if you need to turn your work, turn it so you can see this is the chain 1. This here is the top of your previous 3 double crochet cluster. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into that bigger V stitch on top, pull a loop up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook back into that same space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. You should have 4 loops on your hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have one less or one too many, then you need to either add one or take one out. Yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. Chain 1. And then again, down to the next one. Insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert your hook back in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. We have 3 loops. That means we need to do it one more time. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we have the 4, so we can yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. Again, this stitch can be used with any combination of other stitches as long as it's a multiple of 2. And then chain 1 to close it. And then into the next one. And all the way down to the end. And I'll go ahead and get down to the end with you here. I'm going to just keep talking. Again, if you've done a shorter chain to start with, you can just fast forward to the end to see how to end this row. One, two, three, 4. Is anybody starting to make plans for their Christmas? What they're doing for Christmas this year, Thanksgiving, any of that stuff? I plan on staying home, not working, and if I do work, only work a short day. One more. I tend to work on Thanksgiving because it's a Thursday, but Christmas, if it's on the weekday, I try to cut my time and work only a half a day, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then make up my time on another day. But I think Christmas falls on the weekend this year. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could be wrong though. I think it fell on a weekend last year. I know it's kind of early to be talking about it, but it'll be here before we know it. I mean, really. And I mentioned in last week's video with the Crochet AI that I was working on a blanket pattern for a fall blanket, basically, with the theme of s'mores. Now, I am still working on that. I've come up with a couple different ways of doing that blanket, but I have to test out the way that I want to work it up before I present it to you guys. I'm really hoping by October I will have that ready for you and in a written pattern. So if you want to buy the pattern to follow along with the tutorial, I'm trying to get better with the written instructions. I hope if anybody's bought the electric slide blanket one, I'm looking to actually recreate that with the written instructions because I don't know. I just think they're kind of wonky in my opinion, and you can use whatever. If you don't want to use the neon yarn, that's quite fine. I'm not gonna, but if you want to use it with any other colors, that's great. Again, I did use Premier yarns for it, but you can use whatever yarn you have. If you have yarns that you could use with it to maybe stash bust. You got one of this, what will go good with this type of thing, because I didn't use very much yarn of the neon with it. But all right, we're getting down to the nitty gritty. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so I have one more to do here, and then we have to get into the turning chain over here to make our last double crochet. So I'm going to do my last 3 double crochet cluster here. Puff stitch is what I've been calling it, because it makes the stitches puff out. So, okay. Now, at your last one before the turning chain, remember to chain 1. You still need that to close off this and to have a little bit of space in between this and your double crochet. So, there's a couple ways that you can do this. This right here is actually the chain 4. The one right below it should be the chain 3. And you can count it this way too. 1, 2, and 3. Or actually, this one's going to have more because we went into the 6th stitch, so it's a little different. But you can always count your chains going from the bottom up, or you can place that stitch marker in there so you know exactly where that turning chain is at. Now for this one, it's going to be right here. And you can kind of eyeball it if you need to, which I'm pretty much doing with this one, this row, because that is a bigger chain. And I'm not sure why, but it's whatever. And then we're just going to put our last double crochet in there. And that ends row 2. And as you can see, the stitches from row 1 are kind of pushing back on this side. And when you flip it over, this row that we just worked is going to pop out on the other side. So, all right. Now, to start the next row, row 3, we're going to chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, if you're not sure on how to find the turning chain, mark the second one from the hook, or chain 3 up and then mark it and then chain 4. And then turn your work. And we're going to skip again the first double crochet, which is this right here that you just worked and put the 4 on top of, and then 3 double crochet cluster into the next one. One more time. Again, if you're trying to figure out which one to go into, this smaller V is your chain. This one here is the top of your double crochet cluster from below. So just make sure that you're going into the right one, or else it's going to look a little odd. There'll be a little off center with your clusters, because these stack right on top of each other. All right, it's 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now stay on here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Chain 1, and then skip over to the next one. Skip the chain 1, go into the top of the previous double crochet cluster, and do another 3 double crochet cluster until you get down to the last cluster from the previous row. And row 4 is your repeat row. You just keep repeating that row until you have the size that you want. An easy border for this would be a single crochet all the way around for your first border, or a double crochet, whichever you prefer. But just remember, when you do that, that you will need to go into those chain spaces to make up for the missing stitches. I mean, it's all the same stitches technically, but because this counts as one, you'll put one here and one here, and, you know, then you can add another layer around it if you want to. But that's how simple this one is. I am going to consider this an easy to intermediate stitch pattern, because you do have to make sure that you know how to do the bobble stitch, 3 double crochet, puff stitch, however you want to label it. People call one stitch by several different names. I know certain stitches by one name, but somebody else might know it by another name. So it's very easy to say one thing but mean a totally different stitch type. So that's why I'm saying this is known as the 3 double crochet cluster stitch, the puff stitch, as well as a bobble stitch, because it pushes out your stitches to this other side, and that's what a bobble does. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that's 4. There is a stitch that I will be working on for a future tutorial. I don't know if it'll be next week or this week. Not this next week or after that. It'll take me some time to get it precisely as I want it, I guess you could say. Making sure I know what exactly I'm going to be doing with it. But I try to make sure that I come out with something different maybe you haven't seen yet, or maybe it's one that I create on my own, or, you know, things like that, because there are so many stitches out there. It's hard to say that you came up with a specific stitch, because a lot of them have been done. And that's why I would like your guys' input. If you've gotten this far in the video, please let me know in the comment section if there's a specific stitch you would like me to do a tutorial on, and I will be happy to do so. It might not be right away, but I will be happy to do a tutorial on a stitch if you're having trouble with it. Because if it wasn't for the people that I've watched in the past help me, I wouldn't understand how to do some of these stitches. I really wouldn't. And there's no shame in that. If you learn from somebody else and then you try to help other people learn like I'm doing, that's great. Not everybody can be a teacher, and I'm hoping that my tutorials have been helpful. I'm really hoping, again, I know I've said this before in other videos, but if I have the opportunity to, this year, to start the Thursday Tunisian tutorials, I will do that. If it's not this year and you don't see them on Thursdays, it won't be until next year that I start doing that, because I have to get reacquainted with those stitches. I've learned them. Well, at least the basic ones. There's some of them that I do have to really learn. And by that, I mean I've never done them before. So I want to make sure that I know what I'm doing before I try to teach you on how to do the stitch. Because that wouldn't be good if I'm like, okay, wait, what am I supposed to do again? Because I've done that enough with just regular crochet in some of the tutorials. So, all right. That was my last 3 double crochet cluster. Okay. And now, because we're working in the opposite direction, this here is the chain 1. So 1, 2, and 3. So this up here is your chain 1. And this right below it, it might be a little bit hard to see, but right below this one, see this little bump here? That's the chain 4. The one right below it is the chain 3, and that's where you need to put your double crochet when you're ending your row into the top of the chain 3 from the previous row. Not the chain 4, the chain 3. And it might be hard to get through depending on what kind of yarn you're using or your hook. I like inline hooks. Some of them are rounded, some of them are pointed, like the one I'm using right this moment, which is good because it helps me get through those that chain. Now, if I can get this to work for me, and then go back through. All right. Well, I had it here. There we go. Let's just do that. See? That's why this doesn't always work out very well. Okay. So that's the end of row 3. So you'll just repeat row 3 all the way up until you have the height that you want. Now, if you add a border, it will fix some of the curviness to the edging here, right here in the corner. You have your chain 3s that you can work off of for your edge. If you decide to put a border on it, a double crochet border, I think, would work very well with this type, just for the first round of the border, and then maybe add something special to it, like doing the puff stitches around the border. That's just my thought. Again, you could do whatever you feel that you are comfortable with doing for a border, or just leaving it alone and letting it just flow in the wind. Now, this is kind of a heavier stitch because you're doing those 3 double crochet clusters, so it will feel a little weighted. If you want to make it more drapey, use a larger hook. If you like the stiffness, use a smaller hook like I did. I used a 7mm. This suggests an 8. So that's probably why it comes out a little stiff. But again, if I wanted it to be a little bit more drapey, I would up the size to the 8 or a 9 to give it a little bit more drapiness to it. But all right, well, that is going to be it. And again, this one here was made with the Premier Basic DK Multi in the April Showers color. I did use the recommended hook, which is a 4mm crochet hook. 4mm, I don't know, here, let me get that up there. 4mm, and this is a 4mm as well. So, yeah. So that's that. And if you're interested in trying out this yarn, I think it's great. After a while, it is soft, and I would wear it against my skin, but while crocheting with it, running between my fingers, it does kind of get a little rough, but that's only while I'm crocheting with it do I feel that. And I don't know if it's from the dye the coloring, the dye color, the dyes that were used, or what, but that's the only time I feel that roughness. And I felt it on all of them that I've worked with. But other than that, this is a really great yarn. I'm trying to think of something that I can do to incorporate all the colors into one project, and maybe I'll do something with it next year for that, like a seasonal thing, because there's a lot of seasonal yarn in there. April Showers, there's the Valentine's Day one, there's the Halloween, there's the Christmas, there's even technically the Thanksgiving one is to me is Hayride. There's the popsicle one for summer. The banana split, that could be any time of year. That could be any time of year. I'm trying to figure out the best stitch for that one, though. I really want that name to shine in the stitch that I use for that. So I might have to do some research on that. But all right. And again, I know I was talking about if you're interested in trying these out. I do always have a link to Premiere in my description box, so if you want to check them out, wonderful. If you click it and purchase anything, it does go back to the channel. I am working on saving enough from that to purchase some yarn to test out, to use in projects, and maybe accessories and things like that too, that are not on Premiere, like from Amazon. Maybe I'll get the wand set from Nice Met, because I really like these Nice Met hooks. And these are the ones I'm talking about. This is this is the 8mm. These ones, these are the ones I try to find first, and if I can't find the size that I'm looking for, then I grab my Susan Bates, because they're the same thing, only this is more rounded at the top. These are Omni hooks from Amazon. They're more pointed, and Susan Bates, I think it's more rounded. It's got a little bit of a point, but not a big point like this one does. So, but my preferred crochet hook is inline. So, all right, with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Again, tomorrow morning, I will have a video from my Walmart experience, and I hope to see you then. And also, after I get done with work tomorrow, will be the out there video from Premier Yarn's weekly sale. See what goodness is going on over there this week. All right, until next time. Oh, yeah, I hope if you liked today's video, give me a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content and haven't already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe and then the notification bell so you're always aware of when I put out new content. Until next time, I hope you all stay safe, stay warm or cool, and happy crocheting. Bye-bye.